Hi everybody, we're going to do the Unit 5 end of unit study guide. So question 1 says in the diagram, transversals T and V intersect parallel line M and N at point R, and they want to know what the value of X is. Okay, so I'm going to use what I know. So I know that 42 makes a vertical angle right here. I know that if a right angle is formed here, that means that it's perpendicular, and that is also a right angle, so this is 90. So I'm looking for this angle here. So I'm going to do 180 minus 90 minus 42, and I'm going to get 48. So I know this angle up here is 48 degrees. And I know that if I look at these two angles, they are vertical angles, which means they're equal when they're across from each other, which means that X is also 48 degrees. All right, for this one, it says which pair of angles is congruent, which means that they have to be equal. So I know that 1 and 8, so 1 and 8, they don't have any relationship at all. 4 and 8 would be corresponding angles, and 1 and 5 would be corresponding angles. So let's take a look at 2 and 8. So let's change colors here. 2 and 8. So 2 and 8 are alternate exterior angles. So 2 and 8 are alternate exterior, which means that they are congruent. So we're going to go with C for right now. 3 and 4, they're supplementary angles. So they're not congruent. And then 4 and 7, well, they aren't anything because 4 and 6 would be alternate interior angles. 4 and 7 aren't anything. So the answer is B. Jorge noticed that each interior angle and corresponding exterior angle of a triangle form a straight line. So let's draw that picture. Okay, what can he conclude from the observation? Select all that apply. So that the measure of each exterior angle must be 360 degrees minus the corresponding interior angle. Okay, so this angle plus this angle would be 360. Well, that's not true because a straight line equals 180. So that one's not true. This should be 180. The sum of the measures of the exterior angles should be 3 times 180. So the exterior angles, so that would be this angle, and this angle. Minus these angles. Well, if we know that these are all straight lines, that means that has to be 180 degrees, and there are 3 of them. And then we're going to subtract the interior angles. Well, that would be true. the measure of each exterior angle must be 130. Well, that's only if the interior angle, all the interior angles are the same. So all the interior angles would have to be, what, 50? And 50 plus 50 plus 50 doesn't equal 180. So that's not true. The sum of the measures of the exterior angles must be 180. The sum of the measures of the exterior angles. So when I add up all of these angles, they have to be 180. Well, that's not going to be true, because if the sum of all of them is going to be 180, then that would mean that when you add them as a straight line, that's not going to work. Because if you look, they're all obtuse angles, right? That can't be true. So it had to be B. In the figure below, triangle JHG, so JHG is an isosceles triangle, which means that two sides are the same, or two angles are the same, and one angle is different. So we know that 2x plus 42 equals 180. So we know that both of these angles are 69. Okay, and it's congruent to triangle HJI. So these two triangles are absolutely congruent. They're equal. So they want to know what the measure of angle HGJ is. So they want to know what this angle is. Right? Well, we know that this is the base. These are the base angles. So we know that that's going to have to be 69 degrees. Because you have your two base angles and then your apex of your triangle. These are your two base angles and then your apex of your triangle. What is the value of x in this triangle? Okay, so we're going to have to set ourselves up an equation. So we know that x plus 2x plus 3x equals 180. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6. So we have 6x equals 180. Divide by 6. X equals 30. So each angle is 30 degrees. All right, below you have the figure, you have the lines E and F, and G is perpendicular, which means it makes a right angle to line E. What is the measure of angle W? So we know that this is a right angle. We know that this is a straight line, so it's supplementary. So I know that 180 minus 148 is going to give me this angle right here. So I know that's 32. So I'm going to do 180 minus 90 minus 32. And I get 58 degrees. All right, what is the relationship among angle BCD, angle M, and I need to add angle B here. And I'm going to add that to your study guide because I missed that. It's like missing right here in the figure below. So we have angle A, angle B, and they want to know BCD. They want to know this angle. Well, when we have a triangle like this, and we know that we have the two angles that are on the opposite side, the opposite interior, we know that these two, when added together, they're equal to this. So it's going to be A. 40 plus 75 is going to be equal to BCD. Let's prove why. Because if I have 180 degrees and I subtract 75 and I subtract 40, this angle has to be 65. Then if I have a straight line here, I know that's 180 degrees minus 65, which is going to give me 115. I know that 75 plus 40 is 115. All right, so again, we have a straight line. So we have a supplementary relationship. Straight lines are equal to 180. So x minus 8 plus x equals 180. I know that x plus x is 2x minus 8 equals 180 plus 8. 2x equals 188 divided by 2. X equals 94. All right, in the figure below, lines A and B are parallel and cut by transversals. Which expression is equivalent to the angle of 4? So we know that's a straight line. We know that we have angle 4. So we know that if we have a straight line, and we know that these two angles are alternate interiors, okay, so we know that if we have 180 and we subtract angle 7 and angle 3, we're going to get angle 4. So that's going to be A. All right, it says angles L and M are parallel. What is the value of X? So in this one, they are here and here, which means they're corresponding angles, which means that they're equal to each other. So we know 4x plus 8 equals 124. So I'm going to subtract 8. I get 29. So x equals 29. All right, then it says, which of the following statements is true? Angle 2 and 6. Angle 2 and 6 are corresponding angles. angles 4 and 6 are not alternate interior, but co-interior. Angles 3 and 4 are supplementary. Angles 2 and 3 are vertical angles. So that means D is correct. All right, these two triangles are similar, which means they want to know what is the measure of angle P. So I know I have 180 degrees. I'm going to subtract 42. And then I'm going to subtract 95. And I get 43 degrees. Because similar triangles have the same angle measures. All right, triangle LMN, so I'm going to draw those out. Triangle LMN. L is 59. M is 65. And then triangle XYZ. Notice how I put them in the same order. Y is 65. And Z is 56. Which statement is true? So the triangles are similar and congruent. Well, I don't know anything about the side lengths, so I don't know if they're congruent. The triangles are not similar or congruent. Well, I'm not sure. So let's see if they both add up to 180. So let's do 65 plus 56. And then add in that third angle, 59. Yep, so they're going to definitely be similar. They're similar, but they may or may not be congruent. That's looking pretty good. The triangles are congruent, but may or may not be similar. That's not true. Because the angles are the same, they're definitely similar, but they may or may not be congruent. All right, what is the value of 3x? So I know that these two angles together are going to equal this. Because I know the two angles, the opposite two angles in the triangle are going to be equal to that exterior angle. So 4x equals 125. So I know that x equals 31.25, but that's not what it's asking. They want to know what the value of 3x is. So I'm going to do 31.25 times 3. 2 numbers behind the decimal in the problem, 2 numbers behind the decimal in the answer. All right, what is the value of x? Well, I know that these two angles are corresponding angles, which means that they're equal to each other. So I want to get all the x's on one side and all the y's on the other. So 3 minus 1/2 is going to give me 2.5x equals 105. I'm going to divide by 2.5 on each side. X equals 42. All right, for this one, rectangle JKLM is cut by a transversal. What is the measure of angle X? Well, I know that if they're cut like this, I know that this angle and this angle are going to be the same because they are alternate interior angles. So this is going to be 115. So I know that these two angles right here are going to be supplementary. So 180 minus 115 is going to be 65. All right, I have angles F and G are parallel and cut by a transversal. What is the value of angle H? So I know that I have two angles and they are we know we have, they're not alternate. So the question is are they corresponding? So let's see where we would put this one. So I know this is the same as 2x plus 15, right? Which would mean this would be 2x plus 15, which would make this a straight line. So we know that x plus 2x plus 15 equals 180. So when you're looking at these kinds of problems, you need to think, okay, well, what do I know about it and where can I move the numbers around to? So I've got 3x plus 15 equals 180. Three x equals 165. $53. I must have done something wrong. Oh. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 55. All right, which statement is true? So 1 and 2 are vertical angles. No, those are supplementary. 2 and 5 are corresponding. 2 and 5 are actually, let's look at it. They have to be some kind of alternate, right? They have to be alternate. Well, they're definitely not corresponding. Okay, 3 and 8. Okay, well, we know 3 and 6 are alternate interior, so that would make it supplementary. So that one's a question mark. So let's look at 5 and 7. 5 and 7 are not complementary, they're supplementary. So it's got to be C. All right, these two triangles are similar, which means they've got to have the same angles. So we know that they're looking for Z. So we're going to do 180 minus 92. We get 88 minus 68. We get 20. All right, and then they want to know what is the measure of angle N. All right, this one's going to be a little trickier. So we know that these together are going to add up to 180. So 4m minus 50 plus m equals 180. So I know I've got 5m minus 50 equals 180. So plus 50, I have 5m equals 230. Divide by 5, m equals 46. And then I know that I have a triangle, so I know I have 180 minus 90 minus 46, and I get 54. Nope, 44. So B. All right, if you have any questions or you're not sure about any of them, let me know. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.